In this video, I'm gonna be building a gaming PC for the very first time. All of the parts are here and ready, and even though I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, I'll get through it somehow. Figure it out as I go. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's see how it turns out. Let's go. So let's start with a quick part overview. The motherboard, which I decided to go with in this build, is the MSI Tomahawk. It's the DDR5 version. It's got the Z790 chipset. It's got the PCIe 5.0 slot for the GPU, which is what I'm going to be using. And it's got the Gen 4 slot for the SSD drive, which is also what I'm going to be using. It can run RAM up to 7200 megahertz. My RAM is 6000, so it should be no problem. It's got pretty good VRM, and it's a really good high performance option, and it's also a decent option for the budget that it costs. Next up, let's take a look at the CPU, the Intel Core i7. It's the 13700K. This CPU has got 16 cores, running at a base speed of 3.4 GHz, and the maximum boost speed is 5.4 GHz. Very fast option, should be really good for gaming, which is what I'm gonna primarily be using it for, and shouldn't introduce any kind of throttling with the GPU, so should be great. Next up, we have the RAM, the G.Skill Ripjaws S5. This one runs at a 6000 MHz speed. The delay on it is CL30. It's 2 sticks of 16 GB, so total 32 GB. Really fast option, should be great. And next up, the storage, the Samsung 980 Pro. It's a Gen 4 drive. This one is 2 TB. Really one of the best drives at the market right now. It's got a really fast continuous read as well as random read, even more importantly for gaming. So if some kind of shader needs to be loaded, then it will be found on the drive faster, and it's gonna have really good performance. And the last thing for this part is the CPU cooler. I decided to go with Noctua NHD15. Yeah, really one of the best coolers for the CPU still. Very quiet and really good performance. However, it's huge, so make sure that you have enough clearance in your case, because it's big. For now, I'm gonna just only install the bracket, and I'll install the CPU cooler later so that it doesn't get in the way of plugging in any cables or anything like that. Alright, so let's unpack all of this stuff. I'll start by inserting the CPU into the socket. So let's remove the latch. Let's open it up. Okay. And now I'm gonna align the CPU with those notches on the sides. Carefully put it down. Okay, that's looking good. And now close it, and the plastic cover should pop off. Okay, looking good. I think that's done. Okay, so the next thing will be the RAM. And if you have a dual channel RAM like this, you want to insert it in the socket that's the furthest away from the CPU. So in this case, I'm gonna be using the fourth socket and the second one. And now I'll push on both sides simultaneously. That's actually pretty heavy. Okay, but it's in. All right, good. That's a bit stressful. We need to apply quite a bit of force. All right, And the second one, both sides. Okay, got it. Nice. Okay, looking good. The next thing will be the SSD drive. So I'll start by removing the heatsink. I'm gonna need a different screwdriver for that though. Alright, got a screwdriver. This one's smaller. And it's perfect. Okay, so now I can take the drive and insert it here like so. Push it in. Okay. Okay, and lock it into place like so. Alright, looking good. Remove the protective film and screw it back on. That's looking good. So now I will install the mounting bracket for the CPU cooler, referencing the manual real quick. Okay, so I put those in here, add those spacers, it's like so. They're pretty hard to get into position. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And now I'll put this backplate under the motherboard. Okay, then the spacers, the ones which are needed for the sockets are the blue ones. Okay, and those are supposed to be installed on the second hole out of 3 available here. This bottom one is loose for some reason, I don't know why. So after messing with those for a little while and switching the screws around and stuff, I arrived at a place where both of them are slightly wobbly, but both are seated at the correct notch. Where before one was able to like move between 2 holes for some reason. So I don't know, I think it's gonna be fine. I'll fasten them down with the thumb screws, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking solid. Alright, so this part is done then. Let's set this aside and take a look at the case. The case which I decided to go with in this build is the Antec NX410. It's a mid-tower case for the ATX form factor motherboard. It's got a tempered glass front panel at the front. Let me take that off. And yeah, this case, even though it's relatively small, can actually fit 3 140mm fans at the front. It comes pre-installed with 2, but you know, they can go up a bit higher, and one more will actually fit in here. It will be a bit blocked by this plastic, but I'll see how it looks once I mount it. And you know, the idea is to put 3 in the front. At the top, it can also fit 2 140mm fans, and in the back one 120mm fan. A pretty cool thing about this case, and one of the reasons why I bought this one, is its dimensions. So it is 20mm, 20 centimeters deep, 38 centimeters wide, and 48 centimeters tall. So in case I wanted to take it on an airplane with me, I can. So it will fit, maybe like a little bit of bubble wrap, and it should be fine. So that is a pretty cool thing about it. From the negatives, unfortunately it's a pretty cheap case, so it's got those brackets in the back which I need to break off manually, which is kind of annoying, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, and the stock fans, I will not be using those, so I'll mount my fans in a second. Actually, let me show you what it's gonna be. The fans are the Noctua NF-A14. They are 140mm fans. I got 5 of those, and yeah, those are really good fans for airflow, so they are really good for use as a case fans. So 3 in the front, 2 at the top. And then the last one will be the Noctua NF-A12x25, and this fan looks like this, and it will be right there on the back. And this fan is more optimized for the static pressure, so it's better used as a fan for radiators and stuff like that, but it's still fine for a case fan, so should be no problem. Alright, everything is ready, so let's build it. Whoops. Wow. So, by the way, in those fans, oops, as it turns out, in those fans there are no screw holes. So, you are making a screw hole while screwing the screw in. This is just plastic, so that's kinda weird, but alright, let's go. And it is done. All of the fans installed. Man, I did not expect that I would have to drill the holes while screwing the fans in, but alright, it's done, it's good. Okay, so next let's take a look at the PSU. And the PSU which I chose for this build is the Corsair HX1200. So it's 1200 watts. It's a platinum efficiency, and yeah, it's pretty good. However, there is this one thing about this PSU. So basically, the PSU clearance of this case is supposed to be 165 millimeters, while this PSU is 200 millimeters. So technically it shouldn't fit. However, once I remove this cage, it should be fine. So let's do that now. Okay, that is good. Let's test it, how it fits. Something like that. And then at the bottom, can it actually breathe? That's the question. Yeah, so the fan is a little bit blocked, but I think it will be fine. So, alright, should be good. So that's how it looks with the front cover mounted. This bottom fan is halfway covered, but yeah, I think it's fine. Alright, so before mounting the motherboard, I need to attach the 3 extra standoffs in those 3 places in the case. Alright, that one is good. 2 more. Let's attach the motherboard now.
I'm gonna very gently lower it down. Alright, running into a bit of an issue with the fan clearance, so I might need to dismount this fan for a second.
Alright, that should be good. So let's put in all the screws now. Alright, so I'll reattach the fan and let's move on to the PSU for now. Alright, I got the PSU ready. Let's take a look at the cables. They actually come in a bag like this. Kind of fancy. And let's see, which one do I need? No RGB, no problem. Alright, so all of the cables which I will need for this build are here. I will need 2 of those 8-pin CPU cables, 3 of those 8-pin PCIe cables, like this one, and the motherboard 24-pin, the biggest one. And if you have a Corsair power supply like me, it doesn't matter which port do you plug those PCIe or CPU cables into. So for example, I got a CPU and a PCIe cable here, and both of them have exactly the same headers. So I can plug those PCIe or CPU cables into any of those 6 ports here and it will be fine. They have like the same ports and the same voltage, so that should be good. And the 24-pin motherboard goes here. Alright, so let's put them in. Alright, that is looking good. So let's put the PSU in the case now. Alright, so the PSU is seated and secured. Let's think about the cable management a little bit now, and then I'll plug in all of the cables. I've got a bag of cable ties to help me with that. Alright, so that's how it's gonna look in general. I mean, those cable ties are not really too tight, it's just like a general idea. Okay, so let's lay it flat and connect all of the cables properly. Alright, so I've got a bunch of cables here. Let me show you how I plan on plugging them in. So I'll start with the fans. So this fan right here will be plugged into the sysfan header 1. So it will go here under this fan. It will be plugged in here. This fan will be plugged into the sysfan header 2, which is right here. Those 2 fans will be plugged into sysfan header 3 and 4, which is right here and here. This fan will be plugged into the sysfan header 5, which is here, right here, and this last fan will be plugged into sysfan header 6, which is right here. So those are the fans. The rest of the cables which I need to plug in are the 2 CPU 8-pin power cables, so they both will be plugged in here in the corner. Then the main power cable of the motherboard, which is a 24-pin, will go right here. Right under it is a USB 3.2 Gen 1 from the top of the case, so it will go right here. Then the next one will be all of the like power switch cables, the HDD LED and the reset and the power LED, and they will all be here in this bottom right corner of the motherboard. I've also got a USB 2.0 cable, and it will be plugged right here on the motherboard. And the last one will be the jack and a microphone plug at the top of the case, and it will be right here. Alright, so let's plug all of them in. Alright, so that should be good. We can go ahead and install the CPU cooler now. Alright, so now it's time for the CPU cooler. And as you already know, the one which I decided to go with is the Noctua NHD15. It's a pretty big cooler, and I actually already went ahead and checked it, and there will be a little bit of a problem with clearance. So I'm gonna mount this fan here like this, and then this other fan will actually be like 1 millimeter too high to close the case properly. Alright, but let's mount it first, and then I'll worry about this. It's not a huge problem. Alright, so let's mount it. To mount it, first I'm gonna need to clean up the CPU. So, and to clean the CPU, I'm gonna need an isopropyl alcohol wipe and a coffee filter, so that you know, it's lint free, doesn't leave any residue. Wipe the surface. Maybe a little bit more, just to be sure it's all and dry. Alright, and I'll do the same with the surface of the cooler. Okay, so now that it's clean, let's apply the thermal compound. This one was supplied with the CPU cooler, so I didn't get any custom one or anything like that. So it's the Noctua NTH1 thermal paste. I'm gonna put just a little bit, and I'll try to spread it a little bit also. Alright, that should be fine, I think. I don't know, I guess. Alright, let's put it on. Alright, and let's take the screwdriver supplied with the cooler and tighten it down, alternating the sides one at a time. Right. So maybe one in here and one here. Alright, that's looking good. So let's reinstall the first fan. Alright, this one is seated. Alright, so now I would connect both of those fans to a splitter and connect them to the CPU fan port on the motherboard, which is right here. And now let's take a quick look at the clearance, because I am pretty sure that this will not close. Alright. So here's the thing. It is pretty much closed. There is like a millimeter. That is. I mean, the magnets are already catching, so it's not like falling off, but I might need to think about something to do with this, but for now I'll leave it as is.
I was thinking maybe I can get a spacer to like lift up this so that it's like evenly like 1 millimeter higher or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'll need to figure this out somehow. This case is supposed to have 168 millimeters of clearance, where the Noctua has got 165 millimeters of height. So yeah, I don't know why this happened, but that's unfortunate. But for now, let's take a look at the GPU. Alright, so CPU coolers, clearance problems, screw all of that, because now it is time for the very heart of every gaming PC, and that is the GPU. Bring it in! The Guynward Phantom GeForce RTX 4080. Ah! The GeForce RTX 4080 Phantom dwells in absolute darkness, cultivating relentless forces and boldness within. Upon its shadow black portrait, the two lightning strips decorated on the cooler electrify the gamers with hardcore power to fight without fear. Upon its marked silhouette, a tint of ARGB on the side logo is the only symbol allowing you to notice the Night Baron's secret existence. The robust build structure makes the GeForce RTX 4080 Phantom mighty, dynamic, and ready to rebel in dignity. Emerged from the shadow, born to challenge. Man, what can I say? Man, what can I say? Oh, let's go, bro. That's what I'm gonna say. Let's fucking go. Man, I wanna play. I wanna play. Alright. Alright. Let's unpack it and shove it in. Let's go. Oh shit, it's heavy now. What the? Oh. Alright. Oh. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's a beauty. Holy shit, man. I hope this is gonna fucking fit. Hey. Motherfucking. Don't even. Okay. I hope this is gonna fit. Alright. It has to fit. No fucking way. There is no way this doesn't fit, right? It's not possible, right? Alright. Let's put it in. Let's go. So basically I think it will fit. However, I need to wait, it's actually this way. Wait, it's this way, but I think once I think it will fit, but I will have to unattach the fans from the front, because it will not go in like this, right? Like it just won't fit. Actually, maybe if I angle it in. No. Alright, so I'll unattach those fans, and I'm pretty sure it should be just barely fitting here. Alright, let's go. Man. Alright, that might be enough. Let's see if this is enough. This might be enough. Okay. Wait, I actually need to break off the brackets first, right? Okay, let's just see. Let's just see if it will fit. If one fan is enough. Yeah, it's going in. Let's go. Let's go. It's good. I think so. Is it actually not? Nah, it's in. It's in. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. This is good. This is good. Okay. 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 Go out for a sec. Wait. I need to remove the brackets first. No. It's stuck. Shit. Am I fine? Is he fine? We'll find out next episode. Oh, fuck. Right. No. Alright, so, oh, okay, smart. Work smart, not hard, alright. Okay, okay. Hey, break off the brackets, quickly. I need to put it in, fast. Alright. Alright, alright. So, it looks like there are 3 brackets. So I'll get 3 of those removed from here. It's pure madness. Pure madness it is. Alright. Let's go. So I just unscrew this and just work on the metal a bit, and it should be good. Alright. Oh, that was easy. That was really easy actually. Okay, move this cable out of the way and let's put in the GPU. It's ready, everything's ready, right? So once again, look at it. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, man, this is so cool. Holy shit. So fucking cool. Wow. Wow. Fuck. Ah. Holy shit. Right, alright, alright. Open the slot. Open. Slot open. Gently lower it in. It's time. It's time. Right. It's starting like with this, maybe. No, it was like this. Then like this. Then like this. Okay. Alright, it's in. Okay, there's the click. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Oh, I wonder how I'm gonna put this fan back in. I need to remove this fan to put this fan back in, right? Because I can't slide it in here. Alright, but anyway, let's screw this down first. Alright, there are some accessories which came with the GPU also. Maybe there are some screws in here. There should be the extension, I mean the cable. Oh yeah, exactly this. The splitter. Oh, there's a sag bracket even. That's really nice. It's gonna be needed for this. For the GPU. That's good. I can't find the screws. Give me a sec. Okay, that seems pretty secure and looks amazing, man. Amazing. Ah, this fan is gonna be brushing on the edge of this card, and it was not supposed to be like that because the clearance of this case is supposed to be bigger. And also for this was supposed to fit. Antec is scamming people, or it's false advertisement. All right, it's false advertisement. So let's reattach this fan, and I guess take off the other fan first because yeah, this is not going in. Yeah, so I'll unattach this one and just slide it in. It's fitting. Let's go. I don't know about this, man, but how this is gonna work in terms of performance, I don't know. It fits. It fits. That means it's good. So it's good. Need to connect back the header here because I'm not gonna have any access to it later. So now just put them back inside. Okay, okay. All right, it is officially all secure and in, and that's good. Okay. All right, so let's plug in the power cable. There it is, pretty flexible. Crammed in here are the 3 PCIe cables. Yeah. Make sure they are not daisy chained, but it's each one is like a unique cable. Alright, so let's plug them in. Alright, so yeah, it's pretty much done. I will also install the SAC bracket, but that's in a second. Yeah, the main build is pretty much done. I'm very happy with it. Looks really good. I don't know about this thing, but alright. I'll do some much needed cable management now to get it all looking neat and clean. And yeah, and let's see. Alright, so I finished the cable management and let's see how it turned out. Whoa! Pretty cool if I do say so myself. Let me cut off the final cable on the camera and it is officially done. Yeah, so I'm very happy with how it turned out. All of the cables are kind of going here and, you know, branching off. As you can see under here, there are those 3 kind of arcs in here, and like looks all of it looks really good. Here I've got 2 cables from the CPU fan. They are hooked to a splitter, and then they're kind of coming through here and they're going around and connecting to the motherboard. And I also took out the 3 cables, the PCIe cables which power the GPU, and put them here, like outside of this compartment, because I wanted some, I mean, I've got a fan in here, so I wanted some airflow so that it's not too blocked. I mean, it's still not perfect since those daisy chains connectors are here, but it's much better. So that is the cable management done. And let's take a look at the front. And yeah, that's how the front looks. So let's take off the protective films. And with that, the build is officially done. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it looks. I think it's really cool. It's really cramped and like, you know, the GPU is just taking the whole compartment, the space of, it's like barely fitting it here. Maybe there's 1 millimeter of space left. So overall, it looks really good, really compact, and like all of the space is used. I also wanted to show you what I did about this glass panel that didn't close properly. So I put some O-rings in here as a spacers, and in the front I installed those 2 brackets which I took off the case earlier, and that is just so that the magnets start catching a bit faster. And the way it works right now is like the front panel just barely is just slightly sticking outside the case, so, and the magnet is still working, so it is, for me it's acceptable. It's not perfect, but yeah, it's fine. And I mean, just look at it, it's so cool. It looks amazing. Alright, so right now it's time to do all of the testing, like hook it up, see if everything is detected in the BIOS, and then install Windows and do the thermal tests. The thing is, I have for a fact not tested this PC yet. So in case something in here doesn't work, I'm gonna have to dismantle this and check it. So that's not the smartest thing to do, but so that's not the smartest way to go about this. But I did not do any testing yet, so now it's time for the testing. I hope it's gonna work. So honestly, I really don't want to take this apart. Yeah. Alright, so let's do those tests and let's see. So I powered on the PC
and thankfully everything worked and was recognized, so that's not an issue. And then I ran the tests. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an issue with the CPU, since at a stock configuration it was running way too hot. I ran the test in Cinebench, and on a single test in Cinebench, some cores were reaching like 67 degrees, so it was way too hot. So the first thing I did is I set up a custom fan curve using Fan Control, which is a really good app for that. It's a free app. You can set your curve based on the CPU or GPU temperature, or whichever is the highest, so it's really good. The next thing I did is I was thinking that maybe my thermal paste application is not correct. So I ended up tearing down the CPU cooler and repasting, and the CPU and the paste application was actually basically perfect, so that was not the issue. Then the next thing I did was I tried power limiting it, and that worked, and it reduced the heat, but then I learned that that's not the best way to go about it, and the best way to go about it is to undervolt it. In order to undervolt, you need to go to the BIOS, and if you have a MSI motherboard like me, then this setting is called CPU light load, and on the stock configuration it was set to 9 for me, and I changed it to 6, and on 6 it runs at lower voltage. It is much cooler, and the temps are acceptable in my opinion. It's reaching like 85 average on a 10-minute test on the Cinebench, so I think it should be fine. And yeah, and for the purpose of this video, I will say I left it there, but I actually ended up messing with it much more, since I am trying right now to get the lowest latency possible. So once I'm done, it's still work in progress, but once I'm done with that, I'll make a video about it. It will be done soon, so look forward to this. Oh yeah, by the way, and if this is your first build and you're scared about undervolting and messing with your CPU, then don't be, because undervolting is actually really good for your CPU, and it will make it run more efficiently. You can actually get better performance with a small undervolt, and the only thing that could happen is if you undervolt it too much, it could become unstable. But a small undervolt shouldn't be a problem, and that's what I did. And then I tested the GPU, and for the GPU test I used the Fairmark, which is also free, and the RTX 4080 completely crashed it. So no problems there. It peaked at like 62 degrees on a 10-minute test. I didn't run it lower. Big overkill for 1080p, since the test was in 1080p. So no problems there. Oh, and the other settings which I changed in the BIOS was enabling XMP to make the memory run at 6000 instead of 4800, which is the stock speed, and disabling enhanced turbo. That's what it's called in the MSI, which is like multi-core enhancement, and this basically makes all of your cores run at maximum frequency. So you don't want this enabled, because it forces them to run at maximum frequency all the time, and it increases the voltage, and they run like the CPU runs much hotter. So you want this disabled, so disable that also. And yeah, so with all of that said, the build is finally done. Looks amazing, feels amazing, plays amazing. I'm super happy with how it turned out, and yeah, right now I'm working on the latency to get the, you know, the absolute best performance possible out of it. But so I will get it done. It is a work in progress. I'll post a video here once it's done, so look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, help me kickstart it, since this is the first video. And yeah, happy building. It's a great experience. If you're still on the edge whether you should do it or not, I highly recommend. It's great. I had a great time, and yeah, so thank you once again. See you next one. Bye bye. Right. That's fine. That's good. That's good. That's fine. All right.